Hello.
Hi Mike, this is Rachel calling from the North Shore District Court. How are you?
Oh, good, Rachel, good.
Hi, hey, just returning your voicemail just from this morning.
Yeah.
Is now a good time to have a chat?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, so just in regards to the formal written statement that you wanted to have a chat about, that it needs to be signed and dated, I've just had a chat with our prosecution, because I can't actually see on the file who the officer in charge is.
Neil Winterbottom.
Oh, Neil Winterbottom, okay. So what basically needs to happen? Have you been in contact with him?
No, the reason I haven't been is because I also have an IPCA complaint against the man because he ran over my foot on the matter.
Okay.
At the same time, he assaulted me with the car and then drove off.
Right.
So I don't really want to talk to him.
Fair enough. Okay, so in that respect then, basically there should be a signed copy on the police file.
I actually, in writing, requested any and all documents pertaining to the matter from the officer in charge, Neil. He sent me, quite a few, the log, the radar, the certificate of accuracy, the odometer accuracy, his proficiency. He sent me everything, and all of it's signed and stamped and certified and looks honky-dory, apart from the 3-page statement from him, which isn't witnessed, which isn't signed or initialed on anything, and I know there are nothing but blatant lies all through it. So, in the opening statement, he knows it's being used for court proceedings. He's saying he's making it not to be misleading on that statement, and yet his first opening thing is that he says I was going past him at 50 plus an hour. I was following another car on videotape doing no more than 35k. So he's lied in his opening paragraph.
Right.
So unless he's willing to make it a signed, and I popped in last week to North Shore to find out about filing a private prosecution against him.
Yeah.
And they said that I required 3 things to file a private prosecution for a criminal matter, such as assault, harm, injury, whatever. And charging document, statement of facts, and a signed sworn affidavit. Now, I've got the notice of hearing. I take it that's the charging document. I've got the statement of facts, which is nothing but lies in my opinion, and I'm happy to rebut all of them. But there's no signed sworn affidavit, so is there a valid claim against my person?
Yeah, no, fair enough.
If you get what I mean. I'm just a man, and there was no joinder in equity at the time. He pulled me over, he asked for a licence, there was no joinder between myself and any person. I was just acting as a man. I have him on tape telling me he doesn't know who I am, he didn't know what my details are, and yet on the notice of hearing, he states that he had dealt with me before and that identity confirmed. So, which is it?
So
And
there's a few issues.
there's quite a few. I've actually made 10 YouTube clips listing them. So you just look up his name on YouTube when you go home tonight, and you'll see them all. You'll see the whole thing on the 21st of November where he ran over my foot and took off.
Okay, well the only issue that I guess from the court's perspective is that basically it usually is with the defendant and the officer in charge or the police prosecution that you need to interact with. I don't actually have any control over, what is provided.
Oh, of course. And fair enough, but it's surely if the officer in charge, is he the one that's going to be doing the prosecuting?
No. So what I was going to suggest is that you get in contact with the North Shore prosecution team, so not specifically the OC, seeing as you've said you've got a different...
Well, I don't want to go near him.
OC.
Hey?
And just ask if they can provide you with a signed copy of that written statement.
Sure. And who would they be? What?
Obviously before the 17th of March, which is the first call for hearing.
Do I need to put something in writing requesting a defended hearing before that date? Or can I do that at the time?
So what you'll do is you'll come into court next Tuesday,
Sure.
and basically that's when you'll enter a plea. Well, you seek that you enter a plea of either guilty or not guilty. So
Sure.
if you're wanting to defend the charge, you'll plead not guilty. What will happen from there is that we'll put the matter off for approximately 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And that gives you time if you wanted to be, represented
Sure.
by counsel. It also gives you time if you want to be self-represented, just to prepare your case, to come back to court and defend yourself, really. It also gives the prosecution time to prepare their case.
So-
and then you'll come back to court and their defended hearing.
Now, I've given the New Zealand Police notice that I don't understand legalese, legal customs terms, or anything of the Law Society. I'm just a man, and they're still continuing to try and enforce legislation upon me. They're telling me that it's an offence to do this. I keep asking them, is that a wrong? I mean, I'm just a man. I know the difference between right and wrong. I don't understand legalese, so how am I going to be able to understand any of these legislative acts I'm supposed to abide by through my person? I mean, I haven't registered my person as a voter or elector in New Zealand, so there's no joinder that I've given consent for legislative acts to apply to my person. I'm just a man, and I said to them, I'm going from point A to point B. I'm not operating under the license at the time, and I actually asked Neil on the side of the road. I said, "Do you believe you have authority over I, a man?" And he said yes. Now, I'm sorry, but one of the maxims of law is equality before the law is paramount and mandatory, isn't it? So if I'm equal to him, where does he derive his authority over me?
Yeah.
And it's only if I was to show him a driver's licence that he has authority over, that the government creating jointer between myself, a man, and that person. And if I was acting in a commercial capacity or driving someone around as a passenger, then by all means I'd be acting in that capacity. But I was going from point A to point B in my private property. I also gave New Zealand Police notice, showing them photos of my car, my property, telling them that it was my property. They didn't rebut it and say that they had any legal claim to it. Right. So, I gave them notice that I claimed that to be my property, and they haven't rebutted that. So surely that stands as fact that that's my vehicle, and they have no legal say-so over it anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not calling it a vehicle because I don't understand what a vehicle is. Can you tell me what a vehicle is? Well, it's just my property. Same as my kids, they're my property. Exclusive, and you see, it's all in the wording. I mean, I understand the word property to be that which is exclusive to any individual within any given society. So, who says I'm in that given society?
Yeah.
I'm just a man, Like, he asked me for my date of birth, so to me he's asking me to commit fraud. I mean, I was there at the time. Sure, I was there, but I don't know what my date of birth was. I was born. I can't tell you what my date of birth was. You'd have to ask my mother or the doctor at the time. They can tell you, to me it's all third-hand information, isn't it? Because that's what my mum's told me.
Right.
And my mum's a confirmed liar. She told me that Santa Claus existed. She told me that the tooth fairy was real for, how can I believe anything my mother said to me? Trying to be cheeky there, sorry, Rach. But, I'm looking at it from a different perspective, if you get... Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, and obviously this is a minor traffic court, so most of our defendants are self-represented and they don't have a lot of legal knowledge, so I mean...
Well, I've spent 4 years learning it all, and I've got, Black's Law, Butterworth's Law dictionaries, just for reference. I mean, again, I've got them just so I know what you guys are, in the legal profession are trying to tell us. I mean, again...
Yeah, it's very grey, I guess.
Well, truth words. I mean, he's stating in a statement of facts that he knows me to be a person. Well, I asked him, what type of person does he believe I am? Does he believe I'm a natural person, a legal person, a corporation sole, body corporate, unincorporated body? Which one?
You've got some good questions.
I've got some excellent questions, because as far as I'm concerned and can prove, I'm just a man.
Yeah.
I'm not a name. Yeah. I'm not something he gets to control me with like a collar. Yeah. And like I said, mandatory paramount is we're equal. So,
Yeah. Well, what I suggest, I mean, as I said before, there's not really much I can do from my end. It really needs to be the contact between yourself and the police prosecution.
Okay, so is there a name or a number I can contact for them, please, Rachel?
You're just going to have to get in contact with the North Shore Policing Centre.
Okay. Is that the Orewa one?
Sorry?
Is that the Orewa one?
Yeah, I mean, where are you? You're in...
I mean, I hang about over in Waitakere a lot, over in Waimaku, because my wife's in a wheelchair, so I have to look after her and the kids. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, the file will be with the North Shore Policing Centre. So
Okay.
It's probably best that you get in contact with them.
Cool.
And just sort of, say that this is the situation. I require a signed statement.
Yeah.
Can you provide that to me?
Sure.
If you want, you can talk about the issues, but generally that's what you come to court to talk about. also next Tuesday there will be a duty lawyer here.
Okay.
And provide you with some assistance legally, etc.
Cool.
So that would be a fantastic opportunity for you just to have some discussions there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be. I last time I was in there, they were all looking to ask Samuda about. I think Samuda's the name of the.
She's fantastic.
Who's quite clever with the old private prosecutions, because apparently it would be quite difficult but yet fun for a layman to try doing this. And I'm sort of, well, I make an independent police conduct complaint about the police, and they give it to the police to investigate the police about the police doing wrong, so they can get back to the police and tell the police what they come up with. I mean, that's not independent. And even if I was the subject of the Crown or a citizen of New Zealand, which I have the option to be, I'm sure, but I wasn't acting as that capacity at the time. So, but I suppose I'm just I'm trying to find not so much a loophole, but just some sort of accountability for Neil, because he doesn't get to run me over. And ironically, I've just got a letter back from Senior Sergeant William Russell. He's he's Neil's direct superior officer, and he was the man given to investigate for the IPCA. So I give him the option to say that there's a conflict of interest there, and he's saying no, he's going to act impartial. And yet I've asked him repetitively when he's going to have a victim's statement from myself or even have an interview. He's talked to Neil about it. So how can he say there's been a complete investigation done, and yet now he's saying that the videotape and everything doesn't show anything, and yet on the emails he's stating that he takes note of the distress and alarm that Neil caused at the time. So what story are they sticking with, man? I'm just sort of...
a lot going on, eh?
There is, eh? All of this over, and to me his lights and sirens went on at 100k euro anyway, and trying to do me for 75 and 100k, huh? How's that work? And this was all because back in September, Neil gave me I asked him if it was a request or an order. He said it was a request. Now my understanding is that a request can be declined, can it not?
I would say that it could be.
Yep. So if he's going to give me a request, I can decline it. Not that I declined it, I just asked him questions, and yet he took that as a declination. Anyway, but and then he gave me 3 orders. Now when I order fish and chips, I pay for them. And he gave me 3 orders. I sent him an invoice, which he dodged twice through registered mail, hiding behind his secretary. And he's saying that the lady Celia Snowman, who signed for the registered post in the invoice that I sent him on the 19th of September, doesn't exist. He said Celia Snowman doesn't work for the New Zealand Police. Well then, who is the Celia Snowman that signed for the registered post that was sent to New Zealand Police?
Right, yeah.
And I've got that on tape. So, what do I do? How do I seek redress and get some sort of justice? For clearly this is all just bullshit, and as far as I'm concerned, I guess they're not used to people saying no to them, or not complying, or just standing as a man, as opposed to just being a loyal subject or citizen. But I feel that we're all equal. You're the same as me, Rachel. We all have the right to have an opinion, and I don't think I had done any wrong. I hadn't caused any injury, harm or loss to any other man. So there's no crime. And I was quite shaken. I thought this was a civil infringement, and I'm told that this is a criminal matter.
Well, not really, I guess. It's not...
Because, I said to Jenny on the counter last week, I said, for a criminal matter doesn't have to be harm, loss or injury for a crime to have happened. And she said no. So what is it then? Back to this offence thing. Well, are we talking sports games here? Because you've got defence and offence, haven't you? What ambiguous word are we going to use next?
Oh no, hey look, I totally acknowledge where you're coming from,
And I know probably in the system you guys are you can see it all going around you, but you can't really say anything or do anything. Your sort of hands are tied, your job's on the line, that sort of thing. But, I'm not a member, so I don't care what I do.
Hey, well look, great chat.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot going on there.
Thanks. I'll get onto police prosecutions on the North Shore.
I think that's really important. And as I said, come next Tuesday, you have a great opportunity to hopefully have a good chat with a duty lawyer. Come early.
Just a great way to meet people. Yeah, I look at it all as fun. I have no fear whatsoever, because at the end of the day, they've got no authority because I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, you know, as I said, Tuesday will be a great opportunity for you to have, you know, a good conversation. So as I said, come early. So
Sure.
at that time.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Well,
Thanks, Rachel.
chat this morning, Mark.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, eh?
No worries at all.
Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Bye. What a cool chick. She rocks.